What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Tough Mulligans podcast. My name is Nil.
And my name is Greenie.
And today, we're going into Nadu. It's the Nadu episode. Nadu in review. Is there a problem with Wizard's design? So, first thing we need to go into, I think, is what exactly is Nadu? What does it do? What do we think about it? What do you want to start about that?
Well, first of all, I think Nadu is insanely busted. I think if you haven't played against the Nadu deck, you've heard people complain and whine and moan about playing against the Nadu deck. It doesn't really matter what format you're in. cEDH, Modern, Standard, I don't know if it's Standard legal, but every format I've interacted with where Nadu is legal, people have been whining about this stupid bird. I have a player that I play with, and his Nadu deck is literally called the most hated bird.
Oh yeah, that definitely holds up. So
what does Nadu actually do?
Nadu, Winged Wisdom, is a 3 mana, 1 green and 1 blue. It is a legendary bird wizard, flying, 3/4, which is just a whole nother thing that is ridiculous. But
Dummy thick.
Yeah, but it says, creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it onto the battlefield, not tapped, which is notable. Otherwise, put it into your hand. This ability triggers only twice each turn. Oh man, that's god-awful. That's god-awful.
First of all, can we talk about the fact that this says flying?
Yeah.
Like, this is a 3-drop, 4 toughness creature with evasion. First of all, take all of the other text off of it. That's wild. Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah, that's like already limited playable. Like, which is something insane to me. Like the fact that the stat line discussion is no longer an issue apparently at Wizards is ridiculous to me. Long gone are the days of paying 3 for a 3/3. No, we pay 3 for a bird with evasion that survives bolt.
Bolt the bird. You can't do it anymore.
Can't do it. It's the unboltable bird.
So something really notable about Nadu that, as a Stacks player, as the Stacks player in my group that I keep coming across with my Nadu players, is it's very notable that Nadu does not actually draw cards. It says reveal the top card, and then you can either put a land card onto the battlefield, or you can put it into your hand. And putting something into your hand is different than drawing a card. So things like Spirit of the Labyrinth, Orcish Bowmasters, all of these really big heavy hitters that typically punish card draw so severely do absolutely nothing in the face of Nadu.
Yeah,
and even if you did have an Orcish Bowmasters on field with Nadu, oh boy.
Yeah, it's completely unstaxable, and that is so dumb. It's so dumb. And it gives the ability to all of your other creatures. It's not just Nadu that has the ability. When Nadu's on the board, everything has the ability. It's just, oh man.
Yeah, that does make me wonder about things like Dishonest Tidebinder, but that's not really what we're here for. So I think the first thing we really need, we talked about the cost, we talked about the evasion, we talked about the stat block. What do you think of Nadu? Have you played Nadu? Have you played against Nadu? What formats have you played it in? What is your opinion on this stupid bird that everybody hates?
I gotta say, when it comes to Nadu, I saw it when it was spoiled, and I was really excited for it. I was.
You vile, vile creature.
Yeah, I was very excited for Nadu when it was spoiled. I was ready to get my hands on it. I saw pretty much immediately exactly what people are actually doing with it. And I was like, oh man, that's 100% actually my play style. I'm really excited to get my hands on it. And when I did, it bored me to tears. I hate the deck actually so much, and I don't understand why, and that bothers me as well. Is that I don't really have a concrete reason to not like Nadu. I just don't, other than the fact that the thing that bothers me about it most is that it's unstaxable, and they get value from being interacted with, which those mechanics are always so scuffed.
I think I have a feeling in my heart, in my tiny little shriveled up Winota heart, I have a feeling that the reason that you don't like Nadu is the same reason why people, especially Danny, the name of my Nadu player, keeps basically begging me to play Nadu, which is, it is extremely linear. It is so unbelievably linear. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
And then there comes a point where you have to fork off between different strategies, depending on what you draw, all of that. However, Safi, you're the Safi guy. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like your decks are a lot less linear, and they're a lot less, I wouldn't say commander-centric, because Safi's Safi, but I don't know. I feel like they are such a different playstyle. They're similar in the sense they both have, like, commanders that they rely on, but I feel like it's a different kind of reliance.
Yeah, the puzzle's half the fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
you like the puzzle.
I do like the puzzle. This is true. I like navigating the stacks pieces, the interaction. I like the navigation more than just A, B, game over. Mm-hmm. I like actually playing cEDH, which is part of why I'm not a huge fan of turbo decks, even though I do enjoy a turbo deck every now and then. I'm not a huge fan of them, though. Just mostly because the only puzzle that you're solving is, okay, at what point do I jam, and do I have enough interaction to beat a reasonable amount of interaction from someone else? It's
exactly.
Well, and that's, to be fair, that's kind of like, it's putting it into a box, and it's not necessarily exactly that simple, but
yeah.
You know, just a generalization.
I think that if, going back to Nadu, I think if the best way we can kind of tackle analyzing this card, we've gone over the basics, we've gone over the stat block, is analyzing the card top to bottom. And at the top of virtually every Magic card, along with the name, is a mana cost. Nadu is a 3-drop. Now that's a really low cost. It's also Simic. And I think I kind of want to talk about the 3-drop, the aspect that it is a 3-drop, because that is, it gives turbo vibes. I mean, it's lower than Winota, it's higher than Rograk, but it gives turbo vibes. 3-drop commanders are pretty consistently really, really fast.
Yeah.
But to also throw blue in there instead of red, and then to have green in there for the ramp, I feel like that's flavorfully correct, but I want to know what you think, including green in a deck that already puts every land onto the battlefield with nothing more than an untapped creature.
Yeah, I mean, conceptually speaking, it had to have green, just for the effect. It had to have green for it to make sense, but man, it's so rough because it's cheap. It's jeweled lotusable. It's so easy to trigger. It's so tough, and it pays its own commander tax so easily.
Yeah.
So easily it pays its own commander tax. The thing I hate most about Nadu is that it is a must interact with commander. You have to interact with it.
But you have to interact with it on the stack.
You have to interact with Nadu, but they get value off you interacting with them. That's the thing I hate most about Nadu.
And I think that's actually a really great segue into kind of talking a little bit more in depth about this just absolutely wild effect this creatures you control have. So like every creature has it.
Yeah.
This ability triggers only twice each turn. Here's a kind of a heavy hitter question for you, and I know this is going a little bit off of like the little script we have, but do you think that was intentional? Do you think that Wizards of the Coast used, I'm not saying like they used AI, but like maybe they used somebody that wasn't like super well versed in how Magic players are? Well, technically it says this triggers only twice each turn on each individual creature, or maybe like they didn't put the quotation marks in the right place. Do you think this was a mistake? Do you think the wording of Nadu, the placement of the grammar, whatever, was a mistake on behalf of Wizards? Not the printing of the card, because we can all agree Nadu as a concept is a mistake, but the actual wording on the card, do you think it is wrong?
No, honestly, I think it was fully intentional. I do.
Okay. I think I personally disagree. I think that maybe they worded it in a way because it's just broken everything. Yeah. Broken everything.
I think it was absolutely intentional. It was a way to dip their feet into the water of the concept of doing a soft twice per turn rather than a soft once per turn. which I'm not 100% because, full disclosure, I haven't played much of Nadu since release. I think I got about 10 games on it. And then I decided...
It's so dumb.
And then I just decided I just was not. The vibe was not there. And I make decks I enjoy decisions based entirely on vibes. So, if I don't enjoy a deck, I'm simply not going to play it. It's the reason why I don't play Blue Farm, even though I accept fully...
Oh, you'd be a hell of a Blue Farm pilot, and you know it.
I fully accept that Blue Farm is the best deck in the format, and I wish I liked it, but I just don't find it fun, so I don't play it.
Fair enough.
But
as we're talking about decks that are like the best in the format, I think Nadu has real potential to be up there. I mean, you want to talk about the stats or where it's currently located?
Man, Nadu in 1 month, less than that even. I'm pretty sure. No, it's August now. It's a little over a month and a half.
Yeah.
In a little over a month and a half, Nadu has jumped to the 9th most successful, quote-unquote, most successful deck in the format by registered tournament results on EDH Top 16. That's massive. That is freaking insane.
Like, I mean, look how... Sisei is number 2. Look how long it took Sisei to become the second one. Look how long it took Timnakram. Well, Timnakram is busted, but... Like, Magda, one of the most, at least in my play group, one of the most notorious turbo decks there is, just recently got up to number 10. And Nadu has already surpassed that.
Yeah,
it's number 9.
Yeah, just looking at EDH Top 16 right now, it's in 9th place out of, in a month and a half. Note this, in 1.5 months, like 5 weeks, 6 maybe. Since it's
116 entries.
116 entries. 38 top 16 conversions. A tournament win at least once. 32.76 conversion rate. It's insane.
Cough, cough, sneeze, sneeze. That's technically higher than Blue Farm. Now, it has fewer entries than Blue Farm. Blue Farm has a little under 1,000. And as we mentioned, Nadu has a little over 100. That is a 10th of the population size. However, it has a 32% conversion rate, and Crom and Timna has just over 25%.
Yeah.
So technically, it's literally better than Blue Farm.
Well, that's a loaded statement, but...
I will say it with my full chest. I'm Boros, I'm not afraid of anything.
Okay.
So, but seriously, it's such a wild card, and it's exploded on the scene. It's not just everywhere in cEDH. I know we are a cEDH podcast, but I'm buddies with a modern player, and Gabe, he was talking about how in a recent top 8 event, I don't know anything about Pro Tours, but like a recent top 8, it was like 6 or 5, or it was half/over half of the top entries for the Pro Tour, and it was wild.
Oh yeah,
this deck is destroying every format.
Yeah, dude, I know that we're not a modern podcast. We're not, but I occasionally keep up with the Modern Pro Tour just because I used to be a big fan of Modern a whole lot before Modern Horizons 1. I occasionally keep up with the Modern format, and I came to find out just the other day at the Pro Tour, all 4 of the top 4 decks were Nadu.
And weren't they like banned to Nadu? So they weren't like our cEDH decks, which whoop-de-doo, different format has different style. Who would have guessed? But I don't know. It's super, super weird.
Yeah,
it's just taking over every single format.
According to this, there were some Bant Nadu, there were some 4-color Nadu. But the top 4 decks, all being Nadu, is insane to me when you can especially consider that outside of the top 4, in the top 8, there were more Nadu decks.
Yeah.
There were more. It's insane.
So with this giant explosion onto every frankly major format in the game, do you think that this let's be honest, it's had a negative effect on the format. Do you think that Nadu is seeing a ban for cEDH in the future? And like, honestly, I don't know if Nadu is ever. It's gonna get banned in Modern at some point, but I don't think it's gonna be soon. When Wizards needs to print a little bit more money out of MH3, and like I do think that the amount of money they make per set has to do with their bans. That is my conspiracy theory. Do you think that Nadu is seeing a ban in cEDH anytime soon?
The thing about cEDH bans is that we are competing in a format where the people in charge, for better or worse, don't care about the competitive part of the format.
No, they care about the fun part.
And
which,
Nadu,
like, I love fun. I love casual,
yeah.
but...
And Nadu has more or less become one of those Rule Zero unplayable commanders in the vast majority of the casual pods, because it's one of those commanders like Edgar Markov, stuff similar to that, where you can literally only possibly build them so weak, and them at their weakest is still better than so many other decks that you really just can't play them in casual. Because if you're building them in a way that you can play Nadu in casual, you're not playing Nadu, you're playing Commander Agnostic Simic. Mm-hmm. Because the only way for Nadu to be a fair casual commander is for you to not play Nadu. Is for you to not play Nadu. So I don't believe that it is going to get banned, because considering the RC is completely do things averse, it has basically essentially banned itself out of casual pods to begin with, and they don't care about cEDH. And I don't necessarily think that it's had such a negative effect on cEDH, to be honest.
Do you think there's a little bit of shiny toy effect going on, where it's like, it's the new thing, it's cool, it's the same reason... I was playing last night, we're recording this on a Saturday. I was playing last night at a cEDH little event that my friends and I do every week, and I was playing against a Flubs deck. Flubs, the fool. Hey, guess which deck won out of, like, me, Blue Farm, and Sisay, and Flubs?
Flubs.
It was the Flubs deck, and the only reason is because we didn't respect it. Well, we tried. And I was on Narset. I don't want to talk about it. It was traumatizing, but Flubs won, but the reason he was playing Flubs in the first place was because Flubs is a new toy. It's cool. It's fun. It's seat of your pants, kind of ad nauseum in the command zone. But it's not amazing. See, here's my thing, though. Yes, I think personally it's new toy effect. What do you think?
I do think that absolutely plays a role. However, I don't think it actually falls under the Noda theorem, honestly. I don't. I think it actually is good enough to have some staying power, even once people adapt to counter it. I don't think it falls under the Noda theorem, which, if you guys don't know what the Noda theorem is, it basically states that if a deck is strong enough, people will learn to counter it. And if your deck stops functioning when people learn to counter it, it is a Winota. That's the reason...
It's a Winota deck.
That's the reason why Winota is not playable, quote-unquote. cEDH minus is still cEDH. I'll die on that hill until the end of time, but... Yeah,
I think Winota theorem is best described as, if your deck does not function without your commander, you have either A, built your deck wrong, or B, the commander is the wrong commander for what you're trying to do.
Maybe.
My Winota deck is not a Winota. It functions without Winota. It's hard, but it does.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying with the Winota theorem, and I think that's absolutely a piece of it. Now here's my super hot, spicy take, because I haven't dropped enough of them today. I'm in a mood. I think it's going to get banned. I think Nadu should get banned at some point, and I think it is going to get banned. And here's my reason for it. Keep in mind, I haven't been playing cEDH that long. I've been playing a little bit over a year. Nadu breaks the rules of bannable offenses. It has a lot of bannable offenses in numerous ways. It is too cheap. It is too thick, it's too big, it's too evasive, the effect is too wide, and it's ultimately, this is the really big reason why I think it's going to get banned, it's not fun to play against.
I can definitely see that.
The reason, and I will stand on this hill forever, the reason casual players don't play with Noda is because it's hard to build with Noda casually. Same thing with Nadu. The difference is you can hypothetically do it with Noda. You can't really do it with Nadu unless you mentioned Commander Agnostic Simic, which doesn't really work. So, if a card has already been effectively banned in casual games, and it's not cost restrictive, and in addition, everybody that actually does have to play with the card, because we're cEDH players, for better or worse, everything goes. If we are all constantly whining and moaning and throwing tantrums over this damn bird, I think at some point they will ban it. I don't think they'll ban it soon. I don't think they'll ban it effectively. I don't think they'll release a statement where it's like, yeah, Wizards did a bad with this card. I don't think they're going to do any of that. I think it'll be a quiet ban in the far future, but I do think at some point Nadu will be banned, because especially with every set that comes out, there's always going to be blue cards. Blue is Wizards' favorite child. And as soon as you throw more blue cards into Nadu, it's only going to get stronger. So, Nadu's just going to get stronger as time goes on. I do think it'll see a ban. I don't think it'll see a ban anytime soon, however. Which sucks.
I think it would take a lot.
I still have to play against it.
Yeah, I think it would take a lot for the RC to get off and deal with that.
Yeah.
I think it would take a lot for them to get off and deal with Nadu. At the same time, if they were to look at cEDH as more of a format than they treat it currently, which I don't think that that's a controversial thing to state. They have openly said that they don't think about cEDH when considering the state of the format very much.
They say that, but then like Flash Hulk gets banned, and I will say that Flash Hulk was far before my time for cEDH.
Yeah, well, now the thing about Flash Hulk getting banned was that it took like ages and ages and ages of begging and pleading, and then everyone in the RC that is like active with cEDH, it told them notable that this is the one ban that we currently need. If this is the one ban we need to create a healthy format, basically. And they threw us a bone, and to their credit, that bone that we received did in fact lead to this current format we are in, which I personally believe is healthy. I think it's a very healthy format that we currently exist in. You can play all kinds of things. There's new toys coming out all the time. There's so much variety. There are so many places to play now. I think the format has never been healthier, but that doesn't mean that there's not things wrong with it, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can be horribly, horribly sick and still be healthier than you've ever been.
Yeah.
So, honestly, yeah, that does bring up a really good point, is they've really only ever done one thing by us. And it was a damn good thing, but they don't really care about us, and like I mentioned, Nadu's effectively banned in casual play. So I guess you're right, which super, super sucks, because I feel like Nadu does have the design consistency as other cards that they have previously banned, in terms of the unfun ability of the deck.
Freehold Breacher. Freehold Breacher.
Not because he did anything wrong, because he absolutely did, but because he's cute. Freehold Breacher.
Freehold Breacher, not because he didn't do anything wrong, but because we need that man now.
Oh, yeah, in the face of OBM? Are you kidding me?
We need him.
Just don't make him blue. Color shift him to something else. Color shift him to, like, white.
Make him white. Please, God, make him white. Please, God, make him a white card. We need that. We need that.
Please give white anything.
No, not even that. White gets cards. Make him green. Green needs the help.
No. Okay, I raise you this. Dockside Extortionist, Rhystic Study, Dark Ritual, Elvish Spirit Guide, and Simian Spirit Guide. White is the most unbothered color. Like, even Heliod Mono White stacks, most of the the win con is colorless. The win con is freaking walking ballista, which is a colorless creature.
Yeah.
White, I don't know. I've got this whole thing about white. I think that it's super underpowered, and I think it's been kind of left behind, but that's because I'm Boros. So.
See, me, I completely disagree with that. But and this is a little off topic, but the thing about...
This is super off topic.
Yeah,
it's fine,
it's
though.
super off topic. But the thing about white in cEDH is that in cEDH, there are... It's not like describing the colors in an order in a list. There are two different lists. There are primary colors and there are supporting colors, and white is the best supporting color.
Absolutely. It still sucks as a main color. Give me a white main color.
Considering green is both the worst main color and probably one of the worst supporting colors, I feel like green needs the help.
We are literally talking about Nadu right now. You cannot look me in the eyes and say green is one of the worst supporting colors when this is a podcast episode about a Simic commander.
That's crazy. Green has a broken commander. That's insane. And it's blue on top of that, which is one of the better primary colors. That's crazy.
Name a single broken white commander.
Name a single broken white commander? Oswald, obviously.
I know. Oswald. I thought I was super setting you up to say Timna or Sisay, because Sisay's primary casting color is white. But, like, we can go with Oswald. Oswald,
this
Oswald player.
Oswald's my boy. Church, I got you, my man.
Shout out to all 2 of the Oswald players that exist. Comment below so we know you exist.
But yeah,
we're still breathing.
We've been on this tangent for like 4 minutes.
It's fine.
Let's go.
But yeah, is there a fundamental problem with Wizards' modern card design philosophy? We talked a little bit about, is Nadu a mistake in printing, in grammar, whatever. And you said no, and I said possibly. TLDR, I've got many thoughts. I could write essays. Maybe I will, and I'll post them on Reddit in a giant unhinged thread. But my thoughts boil down to, I don't think the card was playtested enough with enough people who like to cheese the game.
Yeah.
But do you think that we have now this kind of modern printing idea with Nadu, with Modern Horizons 3? Do you think that there's kind of starting to become a problem with the modern card design system, philosophy, whatever you want to call it?
I mean, and it's kind of a loaded question, to be fair, because designing games is hard. It is. But at the same time, there are people all over the world who take one look at these cards that you have made, and they can tell you exactly how they are broken, that they're going to be broken, and then you release them anyway, and they are broken, and you're like, oh my god, that's crazy! How did that happen? The thing about the modern design philosophy that they have is like, and it's all like assumption, of course, because we don't work at Wizards, but it's just, we're entering an era of power creep, and we have been for a while, and it's making the game not feel like Magic to me. It's making it feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! The only difference between modern Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the mana system. Because, hot take, card games without resource systems are bad.
I quite like Go Fish, but we can move on from that.
Yeah, card games without resource systems are bad. Die on that hill. But it's just, it feels like we're getting to the point where every set there's something broken, and it like is not, and it's not self-regulating the way that they want it to. I feel like the playtesters that they have in Wizards currently are viewing the future of the game rather than the
current.
Yeah, and the current is what they're breaking, and that's the thing about it. I'm all for growth and more power and change is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, in the case of Magic, it's often a very good thing. But
absolutely,
there are points where it's obviously too much. And this is, I feel like, one of those stinging points where this card is obviously way too much. in, like, so many places that it's legal. I don't know if it's doing things in Legacy. I don't keep up with Legacy, but it's broken to the point in Modern where people are refusing to play until the August ban list because they didn't ban it in July.
Yeah.
That's insane.
My mother is a very smart woman, and she described something to me, kind of talking about the future of Magic and the playtesters. There's this system of kind of reaching your goals. One is values-based and one is goal-oriented, and they're both fine. But if you have two kids and they're going to Disneyland, and the goal-oriented kid, he's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are you there yet? And he does not enjoy any of the ride to the end, but when he's at the end, he has a great time. But the values-based kid, he's looking around and he's like, yeah, those are some cool cows on the outside of the car, and oh look, that's a cool airplane. Like he's focused on, he's enjoying the ride around him. And I think that Wizards has become so focused on the goal of creating this very dynamic, very healthy, very, very diverse ecosystem within Magic that they have become so focused on the goal that all of us are like white-knuckled, holding onto the car, absolutely screaming, slow the hell down, and they're saying, no, we're not going to, because we're Wizards of the Coast and we do what we want. And that's fine, they're a company, we are playing their board game, or their card game, or whatever the hell this is. Like, that's fine. But I fear that we will start seeing people leave the format, or like either temporarily with the August ban for Modern, or permanently. There are people who in my playgroup will flat refuse to play with Danny because he's playing Nadu, and that's not healthy. It makes him feel isolated. It makes the other players feel unheard because it's like, why are you playing Nadu? He's playing Nadu because he finds it fun. So it's just not healthy for the ecosystem of Magic. Yes, I see the vision, I see the goal. But to get there, it has to be enjoyable as well, or you're going to lose everybody.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I can say about Nadu and cEDH is that at the very least, it is forcing people to learn to keep interaction.
The blue player will deal with it. No, they won't.
It's actively such a good thing that we are now slowly exiting the mid-range hell that we've been stuck in all season. We're slowly exiting it, and we're going into more of a... We're still in mid-range, but it's with a turbo upswing. Because people are actually interacting with stuff now. They're playing interaction again. Because you have to. Which means... My super turbo Winota list might actually be viable now. Which, hot take, the reason why mid-range is good is because nobody plays interaction. And if you can answer the stuff on the board, mid-range is not nearly as strong as it usually is. Yeah. But Nadu is just, it's just up there in one of the worst designed modern cards that I've ever seen, honestly. It's up there.
I think it's a good idea in theory. Either they should have waited a couple of years for everything to really cement down, because in the grand scheme of things, cEDH is very young. And Nadu is a card that screams for cEDH. And I know everyone's going to scream at me, it's not a sanctioned format. Commander isn't a sanctioned format. They're making precons, okay? At some point, yes, it's kind of not officially sanctioned, but it's spiritually sanctioned.
Yeah.
So, cEDH, yes, they don't care about it, but Nadu screams for cEDH. It screams for cEDH like I scream for water.
Yeah.
It is insane. So, I think they should have... And cEDH is so new in the concept of Magic. Magic is a 30-year card game. cEDH really didn't come around until... This is my super hot take. I don't think cEDH has been around since, 2015, 2016. I think that's when it really started getting off the ground.
I think that's a feasible time frame, honestly, to think.
Yeah, so I think that when you are throwing baby out with the bathwater in an attempt to try and get the baby to walk, and I know I'm mixing metaphors and it doesn't make sense, but that's okay, somebody will get it. It's going to end up hurting everybody. I think cEDH is too young of a format to deal with a powerhouse as great as Nadu right now. We have so many unsolved decks, we have so many unsolved problems that it's not good. And then there's the whole political side. Not that kind of politics, but the cEDH players are kind of notoriously hated by every single part of the Magic community. I haven't come across a community in Magic that when I said I play cEDH, they didn't look at me with disgust. And now they don't always look at me with disgust forever, but every single person, like every single format has at least one player who just abhors cEDH. And when you throw Nadu into the mix, like Wizards, are you trying to get us like banned from game shops? What's going on? I don't understand. It's like they're like, we love cEDH players because you spend all of your money. We love you. We love you. Here's a Gilded Drake that's been time shifted so you can run a second Gilded Drake. And then they run Nadu, and it's like, do you love us or do you hate us or both? Because I don't understand what's going on. And it's just a really weird system that we live in right now. I don't think it was a good move to print Nadu right now. I think it was a good move to print Nadu, but just in the distant future.
It's just that every individual part of Nadu is fine. But it's just...
Yeah, if it was on a 2/2 body, it'd be fine.
It's just all together. A 3-mana 3/4. That's fine. Give it flying. That's cool too. You have a random creature with that effect. It's strong. It's a very strong creature, but at a reasonable cost, it's good. It's a legendary, which means you're playing it as your commander.
It's Mimic, which means you can protect it and it has value, and you can give everything hexproof, and you can draw all the cards, and it's just too much all at once.
Yeah, every individual part of Nadu is fine. It's just all together. And that is...
It feels like an r/custom magic card.
It does feel like an r/custom magic card. Who do they have in the kitchen that cooked up twice per turn in Magic the Gathering? That is disgusting.
I don't know, but I want what he's smoking.
That is disgusting. That is a soft twice per turn. That is a Yu-Gi-Oh card, dog. I don't even care.
Either have it once per turn or have it every single, trigger as many times as you want. Let me go infinite with everything, or let me go infinite with nothing. Because if it goes infinite with everything, then everybody will be on board that it should be banned. But if it goes infinite with nothing, or if it only triggers once a turn, holy crap, congratulations, Nadu isn't drawing at least 9 cards a turn.
You built a fair magic card. That's crazy.
Build fair magic card? What is this? Said Wizards of the Coast, the company that built their own game.
It's just insane to me.
There.
It's insane to me that Nadu was allowed to happen.
Yeah, I don't think Nadu should have been allowed to happen yet. Again, there's my key.
Yeah, my thing about its effect on the format is that I hate the deck very, very much. I think it has had a net positive effect on cEDH as a whole, but I also believe that it is allegedly, and this is of course looking into the future of Nadu in cEDH, I believe that it is currently in its weakest state that it will feasibly be in the future.
Which is terrifying.
And in its weakest state, it is a top 10 deck in the format by results, and that's insane to me.
It's too much. It is too much. Now, you know what would be even better now? Wizards of the Coast, you can get this idea for free. I promise not to sue you if you steal this idea. Nadu needs to be a recurring character with a backstory.
That's awful. That's god-awful.
Yes!
That's
Make
god-awful.
Nadu banned. Officially. Make him entirely banned. Have him go to other planes. Have him be best friends with, Kefnet. Bring that back.
A couple of bird nerds?
Bird nerds. Because he's got, the Egyptian clothes on, Kefnet. I don't know. I think it would be cool. If they wanted to really lean into how terrible Nadu has been for everybody involved, at least they can do is write little silly stories about him. So I can stop writing Nadu fanfiction about how cool he is and how terrible he is and how everyone hates him.
I'm not putting it in the description, Greenie. Stop asking.
Yeah, one of these days. But no, seriously, I think if they were to make Nadu a recurring character, Honestly, I think it would kind of take the fun out of it a little bit, where it's like, oh, you're playing Nadu. You're one of those players, kind of like people who play Mono Chandra decks, i.e. me. Where it's like, oh yeah, you're one of those players. You just have a thing for Chandra. And it's like, yeah, I super do. But when you have a Birdman who does it, then people are going to get made fun of for it, and they might play Nadu less. Nadu is an incredible thing for the format, but they need the social ramifications of Nadu to not be, you're playing Nadu, you're automatically a bad person, and instead, you're playing Nadu, which means you really like the Nadu story, which means you're really weird. So different social ramifications as opposed to, you're just a terrible person who wants to win. Well, yeah, it's cEDH. That's why we're here. We're bad people who want to win. So, I don't know. Nadu is a returning character. That's like a dream of mine. I think it would be so cool. It'd be terrible. It'd be so cool, though.
Yeah, that's gone awful, my guy. That's horrible.
No, that's great. Okay, no, I'm gonna like tweet about this. I'm gonna tweet about this, and I'll show you. I'll show you the replies. All two of my replies that I typically get. I'll show you.
I don't wanna. I don't wanna. But anyway.
Fine. I think we can wrap it up now.
Yeah.
We've talked enough about Nadu and my weird Nadu like obsession with the character because the character design is cool as hell.
Yeah, I mean, concluding up what we've gone over, Nadu is a super incredibly broken magic card that is well at home in cEDH and probably will be for a extended period of time. It exploded onto the freaking scene, and I think it's here to stay. I don't think it will die off like Noda and Tayam did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of hope it does, because then the Nadu players and the Noda players can be best friends, and then we can all fight against the common enemy ad nauseum.
Yeah. There are people that are saying that Nadu is a better Simic deck than Kinnan, and I don't know how to feel about that.
That's spicy. Okay, you and I are going to have a conversation with that off screen, because I feel like that one's going to involve a lot of cuss words and maybe some yelling.
Yeah,
but...
I don't know how to feel about that one, but
Yeah.
there are people that believe it, and honestly, given what we've seen so far, I'm starting to think that maybe they're not smoking that good, you know?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that one. It's definitely better than my Simic pile, which is Peer and Toothy, and then Flicker Toothy with Displacer Kitten until I literally deck myself.
Yeah.
I don't win, by the way. I just lose.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
But anyway.
So, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for listening. This has been Tough Mulligans.
Yeah. My name is Nill.
And I'm Greenie.
And be sure to check out the Discord. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.